We are grateful to our sponsors, Kelly Stafford with Stafford Tree Service, and also Black Cow Cow Manure. If you need your trees trimmed locally, remember Stafford Tree Service at staffordtreesvc.com. And please visit Black Cow Cow Manure, that's K-O-W. Remember, both of the contact details are in the description below. Let's talk about a plant that is a nice landscape plant. It's kind of unusual, and it has this beautiful white flower on a stem. It's got 5 little leaflets, which is kind of interesting in the plant kingdom, the amount of petals that we get on a flower. This one is the Arctic snowbush, and I brought it in because I really hadn't seen it used too much in the Tampa Bay area. Now, you could use it in many areas where it is not real cold sensitive or cold hardy. This one is not going to be real cold hardy. There are some other plants that are sometimes called snowbush that you'll see grown more in the northern part of America. This one will be more of a tropical, so you're going to use this in areas where it is somewhat protected. If you're going down below freezing, you need to either cover it or you need to bring it into a protected area. The Arctic snowbush, its name of course would imply that it is good and cold hardy, and I think it's only given that name because of the real pretty white specimen type flower. Now, if you're going to have this plant, it needs a good deal of moisture. And that means about every 1 to 3 days, you're going to have to water, either with a watering can, watering hose, or maybe near an irrigation site. The plant is one that will do well with an extra bit of organic matter. So if you're planting it, make sure it's a little bit on a pitcher's mound. You don't want it lower. And that's what sometimes people do to help make sure it holds moisture. Make sure you keep the moisture level up, but you don't want it sitting in a low spot either. That can be a problem. With this plant, I would add extra peat moss. I would add extra cow manure. Really try to improve the soil. Try to make it a, as I always say, a $10 hole for your $20 plant, and you're going to have better results. This plant, probably you could use a time-released fertilizer, or if you use a water-soluble, I'd do it probably once a month. If you're not doing it once a month, maybe once every 2 months during the cooler season. But during the hot growing season, this plant will require quite a bit of not only full sunlight, but a good deal of fertilizer too. One thing that people don't do is improve the soil level, and you might add some extra peat moss or cow manure and improve it into the soil after a period of time. Many people are pretty good about doing that when they first plant something, but how many of us do it, 6 months to a year later when we really want to revive the plant? When it gets through flowering, I would cut it back, usually about 1/3. If you wait too late into the season, people sometimes wait into the middle of the winter season, they cut it back, it stimulates a lot of new growth, and then that new growth is more easily injured. This plant would make a plant that'll get to be about 4.5 feet across and maybe 4 to 5 feet tall. So it makes a nice, dense, blocking plant for a vista. It certainly is going to be a specimen plant in an all green, let's say if you've got, ligustrums or viburnums or something else that doesn't flower, it's one that you would like to have in there. This plant will do better if you have a good mulching on it, probably about 2 inches to 3 inches of mulch. That's going to help conserve moisture. It's going to make it a happier plant. It kind of modifies when we get into some of the real hot periods of the year. We want to try to modify that temperature, and mulch can help to do that. Since I don't know if we are into a climate crisis, but we certainly have climate change. And when you do have climate change, you can modify that some by extra water and by extra mulch. Those are 2 factors that can be helpful. Remember, the snowbush or Arctic snowbush is a real nice specimen to have in the landscape, and I would certainly use it. Remember, of course, we're going to have new videos we'll be dropping in your favorite social media platforms every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you like this video, we want you to hit the subscribe button. And of course, as always, we thank you for watching.